These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hello on this Thursday. I'm Megan Thompson, tracking your top stories right now from ABC15 Arizona. And it is now day 30 of the government shutdown, and with no end in sight, nearly 1 million Arizonans who rely on food assistance are bracing for their SNAP benefits to run out at the end of this week. While State 48 searches for solutions, lawmakers there in Capitol Hill remain at odds over how to fund this crucial program. We told you yesterday Republican Senator Josh Hawley and 11 other senators are backing a bill to temporarily fund SNAP during the shutdown. Senate Democrats introduced a different proposal, which was shot down by Majority Leader John Thune. So with no movement on Capitol Hill, Governor Katie Hobbs says her administration is taking action, directing $1.8 million in unused federal funding to food banks and a fresh food program. But how long will that fill the gaps for? Our team was outside St. Mary's Food Bank yesterday as police were directing a long line of cars all around the facility. ABC 15 hearing from people who are worried about their next meal and beyond.
This year, everything's been so overwhelming, especially now with the EBT affecting us. What do I do now? How do I support and feed my children?
Staff says St. Mary's will not run out of food, but demand will continue to go up. And that is why ABC 15, we took action with a phone bank to help directly give funds to St. Mary's and give those families crucial resources to avoid food insecurity. And with your help, we raised $58,465. That equals nearly 300,000 meals. We also made it easier to find food banks near you and restaurants that are giving out free or discounted meals. Just visit abc15.com/smartshopper. Generation X is next in line to retire after baby boomers, but many of those workers are being pummeled by a retirement reality check. Scripps News Group's national correspondent Holly Furfer looks at the growing concerns around retirement readiness and what workers can do now to try and catch up.
Americans, including retirees, are juggling financial challenges.
Prices keep going up, and I'm retired, and my income's not going up as fast.
Which is why people closing in on retirement should not glaze over reports warning that many workers are underprepared. Among them, Bankrate, which found 3 in 5 people feel behind on retirement savings.
There is, I would say, a high degree of awareness about the challenge. Then comes the question, well, what are we going to do about that?
Bankrate's Mark Hamrick says if you have an employer-sponsored savings program, take advantage of an employer match.
That's money, if you don't take advantage of that, you're truly leaving on the table.
Sabino Vargas is a senior financial advisor with Vanguard, which found 42% of Americans are currently on track to achieving retirement security.
We believe we're seeing strong progress, and that's mostly because of access to 401k plans.
But he says there's room for improvement for baby boomers and Gen Xers approaching retirement age.
What I would encourage them to begin to analyze is how do catch-up contributions fit into their plan, eliminating any high-interest debt.
Consumer and money-saving expert Andrea Warrock encourages parents to shift their priorities, even if that means putting less money into their child's college fund.
Your children can take a loan out for college and you can help them pay that off later, but you can't take a loan out for retirement.
To put away extra money for retirement, she says, look for every savings opportunity to cut your monthly bills, like bundling your insurance, dining out less, and evaluating your cell phone plan.
So start figuring out where you can cut back.
Feeling ready for retirement and being ready are two different things. So experts recommend working with a financial advisor to prepare a game plan. If you still feel behind, consider working a few years longer or even part-time.
Do you have a hobby or a skill that you can promote?
Even if you're a year away from retiring, Hamrick says there's always an opportunity to do better.
Every bit of incremental improvement that you make in this process is going to make a difference.
Holly Furfer, Scripps News Group.
Tracking your most accurate forecast on this Friday Eve. I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. A clear start to your Thursday morning in the valley with temperatures staying in the mid-60s. Then we're in the 80s by noon. And look at that high. We're not done with the 90s just yet, including today, with highs still about 6 degrees above normal for late October. We'll see temperatures up in the high country in the upper 60s for highs for areas like Flagstaff, Heber, and Show Low. Near 70 Winter Rock, and we are calling for highs in the lower 70s. And areas like Winslow, mid-70s in Prescott and Payson, and in the valley to the south and west, those highs staying in the lower 90s. But we'll be slowly cooling down the rest of the week and into the weekend with highs on Halloween now at 89 degrees. Same for the first day of November, but don't get used to it because we're back in the 90s beginning Sunday through Tuesday of next week with lows in the 60s in the valley. And the high country will keep those highs generally in the mid to upper 60s through at least next week, with overnight lows on the cooler side through Saturday morning below freezing. Then we're back in the mid 30s for overnight lows beginning Sunday through Wednesday of next week.
For the latest headlines, weather and traffic, head to abc15.com or go ahead and download that free ABC15 mobile app.
These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.